Hey, what's up there, YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer55551, and I am back with a video review or thoughts on. For this one, I'm going to be taking a look at the video game GunGrave Gore for the Xbox Series X and S. I played the game on my Xbox Series S via GamePass. This game is currently available on GamePass at this time, though. It's also worth pointing out the game's also available on the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and PC via Steam. And if you're interested in any gameplay footage, I'll have a link down in the description down below, or you can click on the card that will appear up on this video, assuming you're watching this on YouTube. And for parents out there, it's worth pointing out that GunGrave Gore is rated M for mature audiences only. That's ages 17 and up by the ESRB rating system. Now, back in 2002, though, development, I think some companies like Red Entertainment and publisher Sega released a game called GunGrave, though. It was basically developed by, I think, one of the anime creators who created the Tragan series, if I'm saying the name correctly and all. And it's basically the story of Graves, or originally named Brandon Heat, basically getting his revenge on his old friend Harry McDowell, again, if I'm saying the name correctly, though. Basically being murdered as he was trying to climb up to the organization known as the Millennium, though. And the game was very interesting because it was sort of like a cel-shaded type game, but a game that was sort of a throwback to sort of like, you know, like those old arcade style type of video games. And it was fun, though, but it did have sort of a limited appeal depending on if you're into those type of games or not, though. This would also see an entry in 2004 called GunGrave Overdose, though. But after that, along with a anime that was based off, somewhat based off the original GunGrave video game, though, the series kind of pretty much disappeared and all, though. So it was kind of surprising to hear back in 2019 that basically GunGrave would be getting a third entry and all. And I was kind of surprised when they made this announcement because I didn't think that they would bring that game back or anything like that. But the fact that they did was sort of interesting and all. And when I first heard the game was coming to Game Pass and all, I thought I would give the game basically a try, having played the first one and the second one back during when it was released back onto the PlayStation 2 and all. And after spending some time with the game, I will say that fans of the series are probably going to like what they see, though, but I can understand how this game may have sort of a limited appeal, and it depends on your preference and taste and all. So why don't we get started with the pros and cons, and we'll start off first with the pros, though. So as far as the pros go, I will say is the gameplay. And the gameplay follows sort of a tired, true, over-the-top arcade type of gameplay, though. You're basically just shooting your way shooting different enemies, destroying obstacles and everything like that. There's no items to pick up or anything like that in the game, though, but what you do have is the ability to see your shield and somewhat of your health regenerate to a certain degree as long as you're not being shot at or anything like that. There's also the ability to upgrade your character and upgrade graves and everything like that. Basically, at the end of the level, you'll earn certain points that you can use in the lab to upgrade, ranging from increasing the shield, the health, to being able to carry like these little orbs that basically gives Graves special moves to take out enemies that are in front of him and so forth. So there are some noticeable changes, but it follows the tried and true formula that the first two games are known for. And to me, that's not necessarily a bad thing at all. I enjoyed the original GunGrave and GunGrave Overdose. So it's nice to see that it still maintains that over-the-top arcade style gameplay that the game is basically known for. And based on my time with it on the Xbox Series S, though, for the most part, the game pretty much runs at 60 FPS based on my time with the game, which certainly isn't necessarily a bad thing at all or anything like that, though. The next thing I do want to talk about is the story, though. Now, when they first announced GunGrave Gore, I was wondering if this game was going to be either a reboot or a continuation or anything like that from the 2002 and 2004, though. And the good news is that the fact that it is a continuation from the first two type of games, though, which is certainly nice, even though you don't technically have to play those games or anything like that, though it's still nice to have some knowledge of the first 2 games though. Luckily, there is elements where you could switch, where you can look at basically a flashback of basically the events of the first 2 games to sort of play catch up for those who may have missed out when the original GunGrave and GunGrave Overdose came out back in 2002 and 2004. So it's certainly nice that it is a continuation of the first 2 type of games though, so that certainly is neat and everything like that. So I definitely do enjoy that at all. And last but not least, in terms of the visuals, I will say the visuals aren't necessarily bad or awful looking in the game or anything like that. While it doesn't have the cel-shaded look that the original GunGrave and GunGrave Overdose did though, the game still looks good in its own right and all that stuff. So it's not a horrible looking game or anything like that though, although I'll get to that in the cons to a certain degree. But visually speaking, even on the Xbox Series S, the game looks fine. Even the cutscenes look fine indeed at all. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to part 2, which is the con. So we'll take a little break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 2 of my video review of GunGrave Gore on the Xbox Series X and S. As I mentioned, I've been playing it on the Series S though, and as I mentioned before, the game's also on the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and PC via Steam. So now that I gave you the pros, why don't we get started with the cons? And there really is only 2 cons I could think of based on my time with GunGrave Gore though. Now, as I mentioned in the pro, I talked about how the visuals in the game don't look bad or anything like that. And they really don't in any way, though. They look nice and everything even when playing it on my Xbox Series S and O. But at the same time, though, I would say that they don't look exactly great either, though. I kind of feels a little somewhat generic to a certain degree though. It doesn't have the kind of wow factor the way the original 2 GunGrave games did, GunGrave and GunGrave Overdose, with its cel-shaded look though. However, it is worth pointing out that you could basically unlock a cel-shaded feature for the game. You basically will unlock it further as you play the game though, and it will give the game more of a cel-shaded look. And after trying that out though, I will say that looks better than how the game looks when you don't turn the cel shade feature on or anything like that. It's worth pointing out it's not available in the cutscenes or anything like that or anything like that at all. So visually, like I said, it's not horrible but not great though. I think the cel shaded look looks better though, but it's nice to know that you can unlock a feature to turn the cel shaded mode on in the game though. And last but not least though, is in terms of the gameplay. And as much as I enjoy the gameplay to GunGrave Gore, and I do though, it doesn't really feel there's a whole much change to it though. I mean, outside of some QuickTime events here and there and ability to upgrade graves and all, the gameplay is just pretty much what you have played if you played, the original GunGrave back in 2002 or GunGrave Overdose back in 2004. Now, for some, that may not be a big deal. If you enjoy those games, you'll probably enjoy GunGrave Gore, though. But if you never really enjoy those games back then, I can't see you enjoying. There's a chance that you're probably not going to enjoy this one because it's basically the same game as it was back then though. That's going to be okay for some people, but it might not be okay for everyone. I'm not as bothered by this though, because I do remember playing those games back then and they were enjoyable and fun though, and this still is. But this may not appeal to everyone, and it might come off as being a bit repetitive at all, since most of the levels look pretty much similar outside of some designs here and there though, and the mechanics are just pretty much what I played in 2002 and 2004. So, but again, like I said, it's not a bothersome to me as much, but it might be a bothersome to some folks out there. Overall, GunGrave Gore is a fun and enjoyable game, nevertheless, but I can see how this can only appeal to probably certain audiences, and it also is depending on whether you enjoy the original GunGrave and GunGrave Overdose or if you didn't. At its best, though, the gameplay is still as enjoyable, fun. It has that over-the-top arcade-style gameplay, though. I'm glad it's a continuation of the first two type of games and not trying to do like a reboot or anything like that. Plus, you can also get a quick recap of the events of the first two GunGrave games, and visually the game isn't awful looking or anything like that, but at its worst, at the same time, the visuals don't have the kind of charm the first two did because of its cel-shaded look. But as I said, you can unlock a cel-shade mode in GunGrave Gore, though, and there isn't really much of a change to the gameplay outside of maybe upgrades and some QuickTime events. And for those who may have not enjoyed the original GunGrave, may not enjoy GunGrave Gore. But either case, I still enjoyed the game, though. I enjoyed the first two, and I definitely did enjoy this one, though. I can understand it's probably going to appeal to a certain audience or everything like that, but I still enjoy this type of games nevertheless, and it's nice to see this on Xbox Game Pass and all. And if you're not 100% sure, it is currently on Game Pass at this time, and it's worth, maybe taking a look at it and see if it's the kind of game that really clicks with you or not, though. It will be very interesting if another entry in GunGrave does happen, maybe a fourth one or anything like that. It'll be interesting if we have to wait like another 20 years for that to happen or not. That would be very interesting if that does. But in either case, it's worth taking a look at if you're not sure if the game's worth trying out. If you have Game Pass, give it a go and see if it's something that clicks with you or not. Okay, this concludes my video review of GunGrave Gore. And again, these are my opinion. What are yours? What are your thoughts about GunGrave Gore, though? Have you tried the game out yet? Have you not tried it out? Have you played the original ones back in 2002 and 2004? Did you enjoy those games? Did you not enjoy those games, though? In any way, are you going to give this game a try on Game Pass, or are you just going to go ahead and maybe just buy it and see if it's worth your time or effort, though? Do you agree with what I said in this video? Do you disagree? Do you have a difference of opinion? As always, sound off on the comment section below. Let me know what you think. And if you do like this video, I hope you hit the like button. I will appreciate it. And I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you do, make sure you hit the bell icon for notifications of any new videos I put up. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to, and feel free to donate to my channel if you like. You could do it through PayPal me or Patreon. Links will be in the description of this video, assuming you're watching this on YouTube. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that'll be soon. Until then, from Southern California, I wish you all a good day then. Bye.